That baby's probably a mistake, just like her life. They whispered when she walked past, laughed when she sat alone in the break room quietly eating crackers to ease the morning sickness, pointed at her growing belly like it was something shameful. No wedding ring, no car, no name dropped, so they assumed the worst. Because that's how people treat the ones they think can't fight back. But what they didn't know was that the father of her child wasn't some reckless stranger. He was their boss, their CEO, and the only man in that building powerful enough to burn the whole company to the ground if anyone hurt her again. And when the truth came out, he didn't just defend her, he changed her life. They mocked a poor pregnant girl at work, not knowing the baby's father was their own boss. She sat alone with a baby in her belly and a secret in her heart. At 8:01 a.m., Mia stepped off the city bus. She was 5 minutes late again. Her cardigan was thrifted, her shoes worn, and one hand rested unconsciously on her lower belly, where life was quietly growing. Inside the lobby of Jensen & Co., the whispers had already started. She's definitely pregnant. Still no ring. Probably some guy who ghosted her. Mia didn't answer. She just pressed the elevator button and looked straight ahead like she didn't hear them. But she did. She always did. Mia was 25. Worked in payroll. Quiet. Brilliant with numbers. A ghost in the office until the bump started to show. And ever since, the women in the office, especially Cassandra, made it their mission to turn her into a joke. "Morning, Mama Mia," Cassandra chirped one day. "Baby got a daddy, or should we start a company fundraiser?" Laughter. Mia smiled, tight, then turned away. What they didn't know was that the baby did have a father. A very powerful one. And Mia, she wasn't ashamed. She was just waiting. Flashback 5 months earlier. He wasn't wearing a suit that night. Just jeans. A soft gray shirt. Sitting at the end of the company retreat bar away from the noise. He noticed her first. Off to the side, reading something on her phone, sipping soda water. "You don't drink?" he asked. "Not with this crowd," she replied without looking up. He laughed. Smart. She finally looked up. And that was how it started. One conversation, one look, one evening, where he didn't introduce himself as Mr. Jensen. Just Noah. They met again, quietly, a few times, until one night it wasn't just laughter. It was a kiss, a bed, a moment neither of them expected to matter, until it did. Because 3 weeks later, Mia stared at a pregnancy test on the bathroom counter, and then at his contact in her phone. Noah Jensen. She didn't call. Not then. Back to present month 5 of pregnancy. She sat alone in the break room holding her lunch, pretending not to hear Cassandra and the others mimicking baby cries from the hallway. And just then, the door opened. A hush fell over the room. Because standing there dressed in black, sharp-jawed, and unreadable was Noah Jensen himself, their CEO, the man who hadn't been seen in office in over 2 months. He looked directly at Mia. "Can we talk?" The whole room went silent. Mia stood heart-pounding, not because she was afraid, but because she finally knew. The secret was over. He closed the door, and the office held its breath. Mia followed Noah Jensen out of the break room, eyes on the floor, heart in her throat. Every desk turned, every whisper waited. He didn't say a word until they were in his office, 10th floor, glass doors, soft leather chairs, and a skyline view that felt a world away from payroll. He shut the door, then turned to her. "Why didn't you tell me?" Mia looked down, fingers curling tightly around the strap of her bag. "Because I didn't want to force anything. I didn't want to be anything. Not to you. Not in here." His voice dropped. "Mia, that baby is mine. Ours. And you're the CEO." Silence. She wasn't crying. She was steady, strong. But her voice cracked just a little when she added, "I didn't want to be your scandal." Flashback after the pregnancy test. She sat in her tiny apartment lights, off scrolling through photos of him at press events. Always crisp, confident, surrounded by people who mattered. And then there was her. One night. One mistake. Or maybe something deeper but still something off the record. She drafted a message to him, deleted it, wrote another, deleted that too. In the end, she said nothing, and braced herself to raise the baby alone. Back to present. Noah paced the room. "You're not a scandal, Mia. You're not a liability. He stopped, frowned. "You've been doing this alone." She shrugged. "What choice did I have?" He sat down, ran his hand over his face, something no one ever saw him do. "You should have told me." "Would it have changed anything?" He looked up, met her eyes. "Yes." Then came the knock. The door opened slightly. "Cassandra." "Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Jensen just wanted to ask if—" She froze, saw Mia, saw his hand reach for hers just slightly, saw the expression that didn't match a casual chat with payroll, and her mouth opened. "Oh." Noah stood. "You're not needed right now." Cassandra flushed. "Of course." She closed the door slowly, but the damage was done. Because in that 1 second, everything snapped into place. The mocking, the shame, the rumors, and the truth that she and every other woman in that office had missed. Mia wasn't invisible. She was protected. The office that laughed now stood silent by noon. It was everywhere. Cassandra didn't need to say a word. She just returned to her desk with wide eyes and trembling hands. And suddenly, the whispers stopped. The woman they mocked, the girl they dismissed as weak, poor, or foolish, was carrying the CEO's child. No confirmations, no statement, but no one needed one, because Noah Jensen had walked Mia out of his office, hand gently on her back, and escorted her down to lunch like it was the most normal thing in the world. But inside Mia, chaos. "This isn't what I wanted. I didn't ask for protection. I didn't want to be paraded like a project." She sat across from him in the corner booth of a quiet restaurant 2 blocks from the office. He ordered soup. She didn't eat. "You're uncomfortable," he said. "I don't want people to think I'm using you." "You're not," he said. "They are." She frowned. "What does that mean?" He leaned forward. "You're the first honest person I've met in 5 years. And now that the same people who kiss my shoes are smearing your name, I've had enough." Flashback boardroom 1 month earlier. Noah sat at the head of the table. Senior VPs whispering about employee conduct and image management. Cassandra had slipped something to HR. An anonymous memo suggesting unprofessional behavior by a lower-level staff member M and visible signs of pregnancy out of wedlock. He never said a word, but the look on his face chilled the room. The meeting ended 5 minutes later. Noah never forgot that memo, and now he was ready to act. Back to present. Mia finally whispered, "Do you regret it?" "Regret what?" "Me, the baby, any of this." Noah reached into his coat pocket, pulled out a folded piece of paper. Her letter, the one she'd never sent but left behind in her desk weeks ago when she thought she might quit. She stared. "You read that?" "Every word, 100 times." "And?" He met her eyes. "You said you'd raise this child with or without me, but you hoped you wouldn't have to." He took her hand. "You don't." That night, Mia went home with a bag of soup and a letter in her coat. But more than that, she carried something else. She wasn't hiding anymore. And the man who once ruled from above had come down to stand beside her. She became the storm they never saw coming. The next morning, the office was too quiet. Desks clacked a little less. Phones were picked up faster. Laughter died as soon as Mia walked past, and Cassandra suddenly very silent. Mia took her usual seat, 3rd row corner cubicle, nothing special. Except now, every eye in the room watched her. Some with fear, some with curiosity, some with guilt. Because even though Noah hadn't made an announcement, he had done something much louder. He changed the locks on the floor above, and Cassandra's keycard no longer worked. Flashback, 6:45 a.m. that morning. Security footage caught it. Cassandra swiping twice. Beep. Denied. She banged the door. 2 guards came over. One handed her a small envelope. No expression. Inside. You're being transferred. Effective immediately. Please see HR. NJ. She stormed out. But no one followed her. Because when you mess with someone powerful, you expect a fight. But when you mess with someone silent, you never see the hammer drop. Back on the 3rd floor, Mia got an unexpected message. Lunch roof. N. She hesitated, then nodded to herself. She went up. The rooftop garden usually reserved for executives was nearly empty. Noah stood waiting, hands in his pockets. Black turtleneck, sleeves rolled. He looked like someone who hadn't slept much. They're afraid of me, Mia said quietly. No, he replied. They're afraid of what you represent. She raised an eyebrow. And what's that? That you survived them. That you made me choose. He handed her a small box. Inside a custom-designed badge. Her name, a new title, Senior Financial Ethics Advisor. Corner office, full salary bump, no press release. I don't need to parade you, he said. But I need you beside me, not beneath anyone. She blinked. You want me to stay? I want you to lead. Because I'm pregnant. No, he said, stepping closer. Because I trust no one in this company like I trust the woman raising my child. That night, she sat at her tiny kitchen table holding the badge. The soup he'd sent sat untouched. She stared out the window, thought of the girl she was just 5 months ago. Afraid, alone, treated like background noise in a place that only valued names with power. Now she was the reason the building stood still. Not because she fought loud, but because she survived quiet. And now, finally, they'd have to learn her name. The CEO who built an empire and almost lost what mattered most. The promotion was never announced formally. No company-wide email, no all-hands meeting, but by Thursday, everyone knew Mia had moved into the corner office. She didn't decorate it. She didn't bring plants or photos. Just a stack of binders, a mug, a baby name book tucked beneath policy drafts. Noah visited her there twice that week. Each time the floor went quiet. Each time she asked him the same question, with her eyes. Are you sure about all of this? And each time he answered her without speaking, just by showing up. But love, real love, always demands more than proximity. One night, as she folded baby clothes alone in her apartment, her phone buzzed. Noah. Can I stop by? Are you sure? I'm not scared of a few onesies, Mia. He showed up with groceries and a bag of blueberries, her newest craving. They cooked. Well, she cooked. He cut onions badly and claimed it was a finance thing. And after dinner, she asked him, have you told your mother? He went still. No. Why not? Because she'll say, I'm ruining the family name. And are you? He turned eyes softening. No. I'm finally giving it meaning. Flashback Noah, at age 16. His father told him, you don't get to be soft, son. People like us don't fall in love. We acquire. And for a long time, he believed that. Until Mia. Until her silence. Her spine. Her way of loving without needing attention. Until the baby. The one he didn't plan for, but already couldn't imagine not holding. Back in the present, Mia was quiet. Then said something small but sharp. I don't want to be protected, Noah. I want to be chosen. Every day. Without a boardroom watching. He didn't hesitate. Then let's make this about us. Just us. She looked up. What does that mean? It means I want to go with you to every appointment. It means I want your name on everything that matters. It means I want to learn how to be a father, and maybe, if I'm lucky, your partner. Her eyes softened. You're already more than halfway there. That night, he didn't stay over. Not because she didn't want him to, but because he said, when I come back next time, It'll be with a crib and a drawer full of onesies. I'm not visiting anymore, Mia. I'm moving toward something real. She smiled, and for the first time in months, she went to sleep feeling not alone. The whispers turned to cameras, and love was no longer safe. By the start of the next month, nothing was private anymore. A blurry photo leaked online Mia and Noah at a prenatal appointment. No smiles, just hands linked quietly under the table. The caption read, "Billionaire CEO Noah Jensen, seen with mystery. Pregnant woman sources say she's an employee." By noon, 5 gossip blogs had picked it up. By 3 p.m., reporters were outside the Jensen building. And by the end of the week, Mia's apartment buzzer rang every few hours. Photographers, opportunists, people who wanted to see the girl who bagged the boss. Noah was furious. "I'll shut them down." "You can't," Mia said calmly, "and you shouldn't. They're harassing you." "Then let them look. Let them see who I really am." He paused. "And who are you?" She didn't flinch. "Someone who didn't fall for your title. Just your heart." But the noise kept growing. Calls from investors. Concerns from the board. Even his own mother requested a meeting. "She'll hate me," Mia whispered. "She'll meet you," Noah replied. "And that's enough." Flashback the confrontation. Noah's mother arrived in diamonds and sharp perfume. She looked Mia up and down. "This is who you chose." Noah didn't blink. "Yes, she has no pedigree, no family." Mia spoke then. "I have a baby. And a backbone. That's enough pedigree for me." A pause. Then the older woman turned and walked out without another word. No blessing, but no curse either. Just silence. And in Noah's world, silence from his mother meant surrender. That night Mia cried. Not because of fear, but because she realized something even harder. If this child is born into a spotlight, can I protect them the way I never could protect myself? Noah found her curled on the floor beside the crib he built. He sat down next to her. "You don't have to be strong every second." "I'm not scared of being strong," she whispered. "I'm scared of raising a child in a world that thinks I don't belong beside you." He looked her dead in the eyes. "Then let's build a world where you do." And from that moment on, the plan changed. Noah called his lawyer, his press team. He scheduled a live interview with Mia, not to reveal anything, not to defend, but to claim. The live interview that changed everything. The lights were hot. Mia sat beside Noah on the small stage. No podium, no script, just 2 chairs, 2 microphones, and the eyes of half the country watching from behind screens. The interviewer, sleek, polite, smiling too much, opened with the question everyone expected. "Mr. Jensen, is it true that you fathered a child with an employee?" Noah didn't flinch. "Yes. Her name is Mia, and she's more than an employee. She's the woman I love and the mother of my child." Mia said nothing at first, just breathed, because that moment was the exact opposite of everything she'd been taught. To stay small, to not embarrass, to not hope for too much. Now Hope was sitting beside her in a navy blue suit, holding her hand. The interview continued. Some questions were gentle. Some felt like knives dipped in sugar. "Do you worry about favoritism? Was there a power imbalance? Why hide it for so long?" Noah let her answer. Mia looked into the camera and said, "I wasn't hidden. I was protecting what was sacred. Not because I was ashamed, but because the world doesn't treat women like me kindly." "And who are women like you?" the interviewer asked. She smiled calm and clear. "Women who aren't rich. Women who didn't grow up expecting love to arrive in the shape of a CEO. Women who carry babies alone, who keep showing up, who don't ask for applause. I'm one of them. And now, I'm not alone anymore." The clip went viral, not because she wept, not because she made a dramatic speech, but because she told the truth quietly, confidently, without flinching. People saw her. For the first time, really saw her. And the comments weren't what she expected. She's grace under pressure. This is the first time I've seen someone handle scandal like a mother instead of a victim. She didn't bag a billionaire. She built a backbone he fell for. 2 days later, her father called for the first time in years. He cried on the phone. "I'm sorry I wasn't there when you needed me, but I watched that video, and I've never been prouder." She didn't have words, just tears, and a silence that finally didn't hurt. That night, Noah came home to her, rubbing her belly in bed. He kissed her forehead. "They know who you are now." "They always did," she whispered. "They just didn't want to admit it." The day she walked in, holding both his name and her own, it happened on a Monday. The kind of morning no one expects to matter: gray sky, stale coffee, quiet elevators. But when Mia walked into the Jensen building, everything paused. She was wearing soft flats, a fitted black coat, and cradling a newborn baby wrapped in cream linen. No security, no press, just her child, and a name badge that now read Mia Jensen, Director of Ethical Finance and Family Wellness. Whispers started, of course, but not the mocking kind. This time they were softer. "She came back. She brought the baby. She looks happy." Flashback. 2 weeks after the interview, Noah had proposed. No cameras, no big speech. Just her half asleep on the couch, baby kicking in her belly, and him kneeling with a ring and one quiet sentence. "Let's build this together, not just as parents, as partners." She said yes, but asked for no wedding. Not yet. "I want to wear my name on my own terms," she said. "Then I'll wear yours too." He nodded. "That's more than fair. That's you." Back to present. Mia reached her old office now, larger, brighter. A gift from Noah, but redesigned by her. No marble, no gold, just books. A soft sofa. A quiet bassinet tucked in the corner. She sat, held her baby close. Outside the glass walls, employees walked past and slowed down. Not to stare, but to acknowledge. In the press, the story had changed. From scandal to love story. From pity to power. From mockery to admiration. Headlines read, CEO Noah Jensen reshapes workplace culture after love and legacy. Collide meet Mia, the quiet force who redefined what power looks like at Jensen & Co. 1 year later, Mia stood at a company-wide conference, baby now walking Noah in the front row. She took the mic. Her voice was calm, clear, unapologetic. "A year ago, I was the girl they whispered about in break rooms. They laughed, speculated, belittled. But here's what they didn't know. You can't shame someone who knows her own worth. You can't bury someone who's already planted roots. And when you try to break a woman carrying life, she comes back with more than strength. She comes back with purpose." Silence. Then thunderous applause. And Noah, he didn't stand first. He waited. Watched her own that stage. Because for the first time in his life, he was proud to follow someone else's lead. If this story reminded you that dignity, love, and quiet strength always find their voice, subscribe to Real Father Story for more powerful journeys just like this one.